Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Ankerstar Wealth Morning Show. We've got three great topics for you today. First of all, I'm going to talk about what's going on in Bitcoin. You may not sit around and look at the Bitcoin charts as much as Mike and I do, but I know that Mike's in a good mood today. I noticed just casually he's got double green on, so shame on me, right? I should have green on. I don't. I'm repping the company in black. He's repping in green. He's smarter than I am. And then, Mike, on occasion, he shows us if he has it with him, he's got an actual Bitcoin. Well, there you go. That's worth now $72,000. I will hopefully he keeps that in a safety deposit box, or hopefully somebody doesn't see this video and breaks into his house. Mike is going to then talk about the 529 rule that allows you to, if you don't use it right for education, which is what you're supposed to do, you can roll it over to Roth IRA. There's kind of a handful of rules. I kind of think it's a slew of rules. It's overly complicated. Mike's going to break it down for you and talk about what you need to do there. And then lastly, it is earnings week, earnings bonanza, earnings palooza. We got 5 of the 7 Mag 7 reporting here soon, but Mike's going to talk about McDonald's earnings, which does give you a little insight into how the real economy is going there. So with that, before we get started, it's a financial education presentation. You have to do your own due diligence before acting upon anything here in this presentation. More disclaimer information is available at ankerstarwealth.com, and the opinions expressed are Mike and mine alone. Head on over to our favorite website, CNBC here. This is your crypto tab, which is right here. If you don't ever click on it, that's okay. I don't really either, other than just when Bitcoin's on a tear. You can see right there, it's at 72.5, highest it's been in 6 months. So, of all the buyers in the world out there, there's somebody that bought at the all-time high, which is, I think, is just in the 73 level. So almost everybody's going to be up here soon. I think this continues on for the rest of this week. We shall see. It's a notoriously volatile animal. When you pull the chart, we'll just go ahead and click on this. You can kind of see the action that you get here. It has retested this level a few times and then sold off, right? So here's a 1-year chart. So we got the all-time high here back in March, kind of the run up from the ETF release. And then we've kind of come up and up and up a little bit and up a little bit and up some more. And then boom, we're here. So could it sell off? Yes. Could it go up another 20% from here? Yes. What do we do? We hold, right? So if you're looking to buy more, I probably wouldn't do it today. I would just kind of chill. Don't have that FOMO feeling. Hold what you got. And, Bitcoin does historically a better opportunity. So if it goes down, you can buy some more. If it goes up, you just hold what you got and be happy. When things from a technical perspective, when they kind of get to that new high, they tend to run a little bit. So I would not be surprised if this thing ran kind of stupid up into the 80s, maybe touch 90. I don't know. There's a lot of craze behind it, if you will. Where are the candidates on Bitcoin? They both come out at positive Bitcoin. You don't know if they are or if that's just pandering for the younger vote. So I also, I wouldn't expect either president, whoever gets elected to get super involved, if you will, in the Bitcoin space and really follow through on any of the rhetoric that they're talking about. But it is kind of making a nice move up in Bitcoin. How do we invest in it? Over here in our top stocks? We have over here on the right, Bitcoin up 4.37 today. So when you click on that again, that's BITB is the ticker. We moved in back when they had opened up on January 11th. Here at the 25 range, if you will. Obviously, it sold off for a while, but all of us that have been in there since really the beginning are up. 25 to 40 is 15. That's 60%. Call it 50 plus and change. Pretty good story and adding to the return there. So very happy with the action in Bitcoin. All right, Mike, any thoughts on Bitcoin or transitioning over to you for your topics?
Just the excitement of following it and it's becoming more mainstream. I think a lot more people with the ETFs, it gives a lot more confidence in it. So it's my belief.
Yeah. You bet. I love it. All right, let's hear about some 520. 529s are interesting, exciting too, right?
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So 529, you put this money back for your kids' education. Occasionally, if you pick the right plan for your state, there can be some state discounts. That's the only kind of deal with that, other than the earnings grow. And if you use it towards college money, you don't have to pay tax on those earnings. So this came out. Usually, there's not a lot of changes to 529s, but here's the thing. Oh, by the way, if your kid doesn't go to college or doesn't use all the money in college, you can roll it into a Roth IRA for your kid. Um, you're like, well, wow, that's really, really planning ahead. I'm going from planning my infant's college to now I'm planning my infant's retirement, or whatever. It's like, that's really down the road. Anyways, it says 76% of parents say this benefit says I'm more likely to do it. I wasn't that confident they were going to go to college and I needed the money, but I'm real confident they'll need it for retirement. Maybe that's what that is. So anyways, I wanted to scroll down. There are some catches, as Steve mentioned on this. Here's the biggest one. The 529 has to be open at least 15 years. So, that's a pretty steep requirement. But if you started, when your kid's like, 5 years old, 3 years old, they turn 18, 20, they decide not to go to college, they don't spend all the money, you can do that rollover. Um, but anyways, this flexibility. If I had a young infant or whatever, I would definitely consider this, just because of this benefit. This is really nice. I will say within 529s, you can also put back for little Johnny. And if Johnny decides I'm not going to go to university, you can switch it over to Tiffany and let her use the money. So there is flexibility within a 529 from kid to kid within a family. Also, sometimes people use 529s from grandparents, like, hey, grandma and grandpa, you want to benefit your grandchild, set up a 529 for them. And like, hey, it's win-win-win. So anyways, that is that news. Next is kind of today. McDonald's came out with their earnings, and no, it wasn't E. coli earnings, although they mentioned E. coli fallout looms. But anyways, they reversed their same store sales. I know that they did not do that on my dollar because I don't think I've eaten at McDonald's any more frequently than I have in the past, but my kids might. But I think McDonald's is one of those stocks. It's kind of like Walmart, Starbucks, Target. It's kind of my finger on the pulse of the economy. If any of those really, like all of a sudden they drop a ton of business, I'm like, whoa, what's going on with the economy? Because this is where, money is spent every single day, very, very consistently. Their stock is not even, as far as, here, let me pull up their earnings. As far as they reported 323 versus 320 estimated, and 6.87 billion versus 6.82 billion. So basically, they hit their numbers. And when I think of quarterly reports, especially because we're going to have 5 of the Mag 7 coming out in the next 3 afternoons or 2 afternoons, it's kind of like this is just a report card on how your stock is doing right now. This does not say, McDonald's or Apple or NVIDIA is going to dominate 20 years from now. But it's kind of like, how are they doing today? We just want a progress check. We don't panic on earnings. Sometimes earnings, when they sell off a little bit, like Meta did earlier this year, it presents a buying opportunity. Maybe the kid throws it in. I'm going to have a bad quarter. I'm going to get bad grades, so mom and dad expect me to do better. So we're like, oh yeah, that's kind of what I think Zuckerberg did with Facebook or Meta. So we'll see what comes out the next 3 days. But as far as McDonald's, the stock itself, I'm showing a 5-day graph just to show how little movement there is. But if I back it up to, say, a 5-year, you can see McDonald's has a nice upward trend. It's nothing thrilling in the last 5 years. It certainly doesn't compete with those big tech stocks. And if I go to all and go back to 1992, obviously McDonald's has done phenomenal since then. Very consistent. Last article I just wanted to mention that further provides this confidence is consumer confidence is up as the election nears. I'm not sure what quite to read into that. Maybe everybody thinks their candidate's going to win. maybe 90% of the country sure that their candidate's going to win. But more importantly, the job openings move lower. So it's kind of that mix. Consumer spending, continuing confidence is like 60% plus of the spending for this country. But when we look at job openings, and the job number will also come out this coming Friday. But what I saw here in job openings is in 2022, when you had that big, everybody was looking for a new job, there was 2 new jobs or 2 job vacancies for every available worker. And right now it's 1.1 to 1. So there's a job and a little bit more for every person looking for a job. That's more of a, it's certainly closer to a normal. 2 to 1 is crazy high. And that also, when you have that many jobs out there, you're going to create inflation because you got to increase salary to get those people to fill the job. So, just kind of leads us into this Friday will be very interesting. The job number comes out, a few days before the election. And how does that affect people's voting? We will find out next Wednesday, hopefully, maybe next month. I don't even know. Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. Well, thanks, Mike. That is great stuff. And obviously, when you kind of look at this, it's really been as far as the markets have been fairly optimistic going on into this election, which doesn't match at all really with the, what you see in mainstream media or social media about all the angst that's out there. So is it apathy? Is it confidence? I don't know. But when Mike talks about companies like McDonald's, that means, the regular people of the world are outspending their money. And that's what we really need to keep any economy going, right? So lots to unpack today, and there's even more coming tomorrow. So stay tuned. Again, more earnings and other stuff on deck for this week. And with that, we will see you back tomorrow. You have a good one.